All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstones who rule well. And salutations to the Archon out there spreading this truth like wildfire, in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. All right, I tell this live. Woe unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep on a pasture, because in response to I'm going because hey, recently you had a pastor spit on the prophets when they was outside, and these pastors, man, they're pissed because the source of their revenue, because we're messing up their hustle, because the source of the revenue is you tribes out here, man. They want to take it. They want to basically take advantage of the curses and the zeal our people have, and they don't they teach our people, BS, you know, benefit off that that Slakio, that covenant that they made with death, and that 501c3 charter, that's what it is, and they mislead our people, make a whole lot of money off of them. Our people are fucking broke, but because they feel like they gotta go to this so-called church building, they still go and they still give their tithes. And let me get that scripture. Woe to the pastors. Let me get that. Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, saith Yahweh. Verse 2. Therefore saith Yahweh, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh. You know, because these devils, well, they're devils too, but they're Israelite devils, man. And demons. Well, devil means false accuser. And they accuse us of being like so caught in a cult, and it's a bad thing. And we're the ones that's misleading them. But they're the ones so they're falsely accusing because we're actually leading them to the truth. But really, they're not. These pastors that have scattered, you tribes, man. These pastors that have taught you falsehoods, you know, so told you they were then showed you the way, then showed you the wrong way. The Most High Yahweh is going to visit upon you the evil of your doing. That's what's going to happen to you pastors, these false pastors. Verse 3, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, what they're mad about, and bring them against their fold, and they shall be fruitful and increase. Verse 4, and I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. And that's what these pastors, they're mad about. That's what they're mad about. That's what these false pastors are mad about. They're hurt. Because they used to make money. They used to make more money because you tribes was going to them churches. You so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Israelite foreigners that be like unto the speckled bird. Y'all were going to these pastors, I asked, taking advice from them. They're leading you down the wrong path, and at the same time making money off of you. And let me get that. Let me get that. This is what it reminds me of. at the sorcerers that were mad at Paul. Now there was, I think there were sorcerers, if I'm not mistaken. And they were mad at Paul because he was telling them, those Jakes that were into that shit, the truth. And that was messing up their money. They were mad. Acts chapter 19. Verse 18. And many of them that believed came. Verse 17, verse 18. And many of them that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Verse 19. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. Verse 20. So mightily grew the word of power Yahweh and prevailed. Verse 21. After these things were ended, Paul proposed in the spirit, which he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia, unto, hold on, Timotheus and Erastus, but he himself stayed in Asia for a season. Hold on. Verse 23, about the same time there arose no small stir about that way. Verse 24, for a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craft of craftsmen. Verse 25, which we called together with the workmen of like occupation, and said, sirs, you know by this craft we have our wealth. Verse 26, moreover, you see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost all throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods which are made with hands. Verse 27, not so that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. Verse 28, and when he heard these things, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, great is Diana of the Ephesians. Verse 29, and the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius in the start, Aristarchus, man of Macedonia, Paul's companion in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. Verse 30, and when Paul would have entered into the people, the disciples suffered him not. Verse 31, and certain of the chief of Asia, which were his friends, said unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater. Verse 32, and some therefore cried one thing, for the assembly was confused, and the more part knew not which wherefore, not knew not wherefore they were come together. Verse 33, and they drew Alexander out of the multitude, the Jews putting him forward. And Alexander beckoned on with the people, and would have made his defense unto the people. Verse 34, but when they knew he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours cried out, great is Diana of the Ephesians. Verse 35, and when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, ye men of Ephesus, what man is there and knoweth how the city of the Ephesians is a worshipper of the great goddess Diana and of the image which fell down from Jupiter? Verse 36, seeing these things cannot be spoken against, ye ought to be quiet and to do nothing rashly. Verse 37, for ye have brought hither these men, which are neither robbers of churches nor yet blasphemers of your God, of your goddess. Verse 38, Wherefore, if Demetrius and his craftsmen, which are with them, have a matter against any men, the law is open and their deputies. There are, let them impede and plead one another. Verse 39, but if ye inquire anything concerning other matters, it shall be determined in lawful our assembly. Verse 44, if we are in danger to be called into question for this day's uproar, there being no cause whereby we may give an account of this concourse. And basically, what happened is they got pissed off because crap was being heavy off of them. That there be no gods which should make them to again. And so basically when you look at it, you pastors, y'all are starting to act the same way, man. Because y'all are losing money from Jake waking up, realizing that Christianity, that they got more holes in it than Swiss cheese, man. And that the real scriptures, like it look like a net, man. It got that much holes. And that you so-called Christians, y'all don't actually believe in the scriptures, and you so-called Christian pastors don't actually teach what the Bible has to say. Y'all don't go into the scriptures. Y'all don't go into how Jesus. You call him that ignorantly. JC, whose really real name is Yahushai. Y'all don't go into that how that's his real name. Y'all don't go. Y'all don't touch Revelation chapter 1, 13 down 13 down to 15, which talks about the description of Yahushai. Y'all don't go down to that. How he actually looked, because y'all are set up by Esau. Y'all were set up by Esau to control our people, man. That's why. I think it's 13, could be 16. But let me verify. Y'all avoid those scriptures, or Deuteronomy 28, which would show, oh yeah, 15, not 16. But y'all don't go into that. Y'all don't go into the curses. Y'all don't go into Genesis 49, the tribes, who they are. That also shows us. Deuteronomy chapter 33, shows us there too. Y'all don't go into that. Y'all don't go into that. Y'all don't go into the Apocrypha. Second Ezra chapter 3, verses 40 down to 45 and 46. Telling you where the northern kingdom went. Showing these so-called, which would prove to these so-called Latinos that they're the northern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? 7 and 8. These so-called Latinos and natives. Proving that that's the northern kingdom. The verses that go into Babylon. There's a handful that do, but most of y'all say that it's not America, it's the Vatican. When that couldn't be further from the truth. It's America. Of course it's America. Of course it's America. Y'all go into prophecy, Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble, how it's gonna be. If y'all do, y'all teach that. Y'all teach that y'all teach that uh, y'all teach that, oh, we're gonna be raptured. beforehand, a lot of y'all. It's not the case. You know, the elect is going to have to endure through the tribulation, which is Jacob's trouble. And the Antichrist is not just one man, it's a whole system. There are many Antichrists. And so you false pastors, you still don't teach the truth. You still don't teach the truth because it would mess up your money. It would mess up your 501c3 charter, which is a covenant with death. Let me get that precept. Isaiah 28. You have a covenant with a man that has death and hell. You have a covenant. You have a covenant with Esau. Covenant with death, man. Isaiah 28, verse 14. Wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men, that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Verse 15. Hold on. Verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Because you said that. Because you said that we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. Hey, we ain't gonna touch us. We had agreement with hell, it ain't gonna touch us. Because y'all trust in that 501c3 charter. You trust in Egypt. This is what's gonna happen. Verse 16, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste, which is Yahushai. Verse 17, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. Verse 18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your covenant with hell shall not stand, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, and ye shall be trodden down by it. Does it say that is your covenant is going to stand, and this hell ain't going to touch you, that the waters ain't going to overflow the hiding place? It says the water shall overflow the hiding place. It says the hail shall sweep away the refuge of line. It says judgment will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. It says your covenant with death shall be disannulled, your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Hey, if the pastor that spit on those prophets on the highways and byways come across this video, just know that the Most High Yahweh got you. Judgment will I also lay to the line. He's gonna judge you for that. And righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies. The hail is gonna sweep it away, man. This storm that's coming, this Jacob's trouble that's coming. From the beginning of sorrows all the way to the nukes. You're gonna get touched. You're gonna get touched, and your master Esau that you serve, your master Esau that you trust in, the new Egyptians, They're going to stab you in the back. They're going to stab you in the back. Verse 18, your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Hey, making a covenant with Esau, man, that ain't going to help you. This devil don't keep his covenants. This devil don't keep his covenants. Verse 19, verse 19, from the time that it goes forth, it shall take you. From morning by morning shall it pass over. By day and by night, it shall be a vexation only to understand the report, only to understand it. Imagine being the one to go through it. Verse 20, a time like no other. Verse 20, for the bed is shorter than that a man can stretch himself on it, and the covering narrow, and he can wrap himself in it. You are not covered. Like, hey, nationwide not on your side, man. Think of it like that. You can think of it like that. You false pastors, man. You trust in Egypt. Verse 1 of Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. And they cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked in my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's what y'all are doing. I got this 501c3 charter with Esau, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. In 501c3 charter, that 501c3 charter says that basically it shows you, basically a part of it is they got to cooperate with FEMA when shit hits the fan, to calm the people down, get the people to be complacent, to just take the shit that they giving them, to just obey the orders, just do what the government says to do. Romans 13, just do what Esau says, and you'll be all right. But you think that you're gonna be all right? Oh, what the fuck, bro? I didn't mean to do that shit. Oh, it's still up. Allah, y'all about to see me outside by Hashem Makakadai. All praises. Still up. Yeah, yeah. That you may add sin in the sin, man. These scriptures fit you, man. You trust in Egypt, cover with the covering, but not of the spirit, not of his spirit, man. That you may add sin to sin. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and your trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yeah, because these devils, which are these new Egyptians, Pharaoh, the Pharaoh and the Egyptians, they're today's version of them. They're not gonna, your trust in them is gonna be your confusion. It's gonna be your shame. Because Esau is gonna throw you under the bus. After he's done with you, he's gonna throw you under the bus. Verse 4, verse 4, verse 4, for his princes were at Zone, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. Verse 5, they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them. In that day, you pastors are going to be ashamed. You false pastors are going to be ashamed. It's going to be your shame to spread the Pharaoh. It's going to be a shame, not It's going to be a shame and confusion to you. You're going to be confused. Why didn't this man keep his word? Why didn't this man keep his word? Because he's the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. That's why. But it's the prophets who were trying to wake up, to wake y'all up. You know, the prophets that were trying to out there trying to wake y'all up. You know, y'all despise them. You know, you spitting in the prophets, spitting on the prophets. And even going that far. Verse 6, the burden of the beast of the south into a land of trouble and anguish from whence come the young old lion, the viper and flying serpent. They will carry the riches upon the shoulders of young asses. They will carry the riches. They will carry the riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and the treasures upon the bunches of camels. The people that shall not profit. Verse 7, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning them. Their strength is to sit still. Verse 8, now go, write it before them in the table and note it in the book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. Verse 9, that this is a rebellious lying people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. You 2/3, man. You that pastor man that did that, that's let's see repent. Let's see repent, you 2/3. That's exactly how you 2/3 feel about this truth. That's exactly how y'all feel. Verse 10 would say to the seer, seed not, and to the prophets prophesy not unto right things, speak unto smooth things, prophesy deceit. Verse 11, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay there long. Verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swollen out in the high wall, whose breaking comes instantly, suddenly in an instant. Verse 14, he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so there shall not be found in the bursting of it assured to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. Verse 15, this is the same mindset you'll have, man. And we gonna trust in Egypt. We're gonna trust in Egypt. You know, the so-called white man is gonna be on our side. You know, because we're selling out our own people. That's what you think. Verse 16, but he said, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall ye flee, and we will ride upon the swift, therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. Esau. Verse 17, 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of five shall ye flee. So ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain and the hill. All right, let me get this one right here. Greedy dogs. That's what y'all is, man. Isaiah 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Verse 11. Yeah, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. Mere shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way. Everyone for his gain from his quarter. Verse 12. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine. We will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be this day, and much more abundant. You know, that's how y'all think, man. Especially you fake ass leaders of our people, man. And you pastors, the so-called black church, the so-called black church is, and so-called, I'm gonna add Northern Kingdom, and I'm gonna add Northern Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom church, man. All right, y'all. And the so-called Latino church as well. Y'all, even, you know, God, the so-called natives, false leaders of God. You have the false leaders. But, you false leaders of the northern and southern kingdoms that are leading our people astray, leading the speckled birds astray as well. You know, hey, y'all got, hey, y'all got hell to pay for what y'all doing, for selling out, for misleading our people. And hey, this devil that you trust, he's gonna be the one to destroy you after you did what you wanted him to do. He's gonna be the one to destroy you. And uh, so I hope this live is edifying to you. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the argument out there, spreading this truth like wildfire, in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Hey, shalom. Stay strong. Abba Babal. Abba La Admoni. Abba La Gwayan. That's Babylon. That's the Edomites, which is Abba La Admoni. Dead to the heathens, Abba La Gwayan. Abba La Agabia Nawa. That's who our enemies. But the rest of them, Yashar forever and Abba Babal. Shalom.